ओम 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 सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सच्चिदानंदरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। ॐ जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्त देवताभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो ब्राह्मणेभ्यो आचार्येभ्यो भक्तेभ्यो साधुभ्यो साधकेभ्यो तीर्थेभ्यो क्षेत्रेभ्यो नदीनदेभ्यो आचार्येभ्यो शास्त्रेभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नारदाय वेदव्यासाय शुकब्रह्मर्षये सूतमहामुनये शौनकादिऋषिभ्यो अत्र्यादिऋषिभ्यो प्रह्लादादिभक्तजनेभ्यो मत्स्यादि अवतारेभ्यो आदित्यादि नवग्रह देवताभ्यो नमः। श्री दक्षिणामूर्ति दत्तात्रेय हयग्रीवादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती स्वरूपिणी श्री आदिपराशक्ति मात्रे नमः। माता पितृदेवताभ्यो नमः। ओम आद्य शंकराचार्य वर्यादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कंधः मुक्तिर्हित्वान्यथा रूपम स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितेः अथ अष्टादशोऽध्यायः। Up to 17 chapters we saw. Let us do the 18th chapter. In this mainly Vanaprastha, Sanyasa, Ashrama, Dharmas are told to us by the Lord for our own sincere practice, thereby doubtless certain evolution. Let us chant it. ओम श्री भगवानुवाच वनं विवेक्षुः पुत्रेषु भार्यां न्यस्य सहैव वा वन एव वसेत् शान्तः तृतीयं भागमायुषः कन्दमूलफलैर्वन्यैः मेध्यैर्वृत्तिं प्रकल्पयेत् वसीतवल्कलं वासः तृणपर्णाजिनानि च केशरोमनखश्मश्रु मलानि बिभ्रूयाद् दतः न धावेदप्सु मज्जेत त्रिकालस्थण्डिलेशयः ग्रीष्मे तप्येत पञ्चाग्नेन वर्षाश्वासारषाड्जले आकण्ठमग्नः शिशिरे एवं वृत्तः तपश्चरेत् अग्निपक्वं समश्नीयात् कालपक्वमथापि वा उलूकलाश्मकुट्टो वा दन्तोलूकल एव वा स्वयं सञ्चिनुयात् सर्वम् आत्मनो वृत्तिकारणं देशकालबलाभिज्ञः नाददीतान्यदाहृतं वन्यैश्चरुपुरोडाशैः निर्वपेत् कालचोदितान् न तु श्रौतेन पशुना मां यजेत वनाश्रमे अग्निहोत्रं च दर्शश्च पूर्णमासश्च पूर्णवत् चातुर्पूर्ववत् चातुर्मास्यानि च मुनेः आम्नातानि च नैगमैः एवं चीर्णेन तपसा मुनिर्दमनि सन्ततः मां तपोमयमाराध्य ऋषिलोकादुपैति माम् यस्त्वेतत्कृच्छ्रतश्चीर्णं तपो निःश्रेयसं महत् कामायाल्पीयसे युञ्जात् बालिशः कोपरस्ततः यदासौ नियमे कल्पः जरया जातवेपथुः आत्मन्यग्नीन् समारोप्य मच्चित्तोऽग्निं समाविशेत् यदा कर्म विपाकेषु लोकेषु निरयात्मसो विरागो जायते सम्यक् न्यस्ताग्निः प्रव्रजेत् ततः इष्ट्वा यथोपदेशं मां दत्त्वा सर्वस्वमृत्विजे अग्नेन स्वप्राण आवेश्य निरपेक्षः परिव्रजेत विप्रस्य वै सन्न्यसदः देवादारादिरूपिणः विघ्नान् कुर्वन्ति अयं ह्यस्मान् आक्रम्य समयात् परं बिभ्रूयात् चेन्मुनिर्वासः कौपीनाच्छादनं परं त्यक्तं न दण्डपात्राभ्याम् अन्यत् किञ्चित् अनापदे दृष्टिभूतं मन्यसेत्पादं वस्त्रपूतं पिबेत् जलं सत्यपूतां वदेद्वाणीं मनः पूतं समाचरेत् मौनानिहा निलायाम दण्डा वाग्देहचेतसाम् न ह्येते यस्य सन्त्यङ्ग वेणुभिर्न भवेत् यतिः भिक्षां चतुर्षु वर्णेषु विगर्ह्यान् वर्जयन्श्चरेत् सप्तागारान् संक्लृप्तान् तुष्येल्लब्धेन यावता बहिर्जलाशयं गत्वा तत्रोपस्पृश्य वाग्यतः विभज्य पावितं शेषं भुञ्जीता शेषमाहृतम् एकश्चरेन्महीमेतां निस्सङ्गः संयतेन्द्रियः आत्मक्रीडश्चात्मरतः आत्मवान् समदर्शनः विविक्तक्षेमशरणः मद्भावविमलाशयः आत्मानं चिन्तयेत् एकम् अभेदेन मया मुनिः अन्वीक्षेतात्मनो बन्धं मोक्षं च ज्ञाननिष्ठया बन्ध इन्द्रियविक्षेपः मोक्ष येषां च संयमः तस्मान्नियम्य षड्वर्गं मद्भावेन चरेन्मुनिः विरक्तः क्षुल्लकामेभ्यः लब्ध्वात्मनि सुखं महत् पुरग्रामव्रजान् सार्थान् भिक्षार्थं प्रविशंश्चरेत् पुण्यदेशसरिच्छैल वनाश्रमवतीं महीम वानप्रस्थाश्रमपदेषु अभीक्ष्णं भैक्ष्यमाचरेत् संसिद्ध्यत्वाश्वसम्मोहः शुद्धसत्त्वः शिरान्धसा नैतद्वस्तुतया पश्येत् दृश्यमानं विनश्यते असक्तचित्तो विरमेत इहामुत्र चिकीर्षितात् यदेतदात्मनि जगत् मनोवाक्प्राणसंहतं सर्वं मायेति तर्केण स्वस्थस्त्यक्त्वा न तत्स्मरेत् ज्ञाननिष्ठो विरक्तो वा मद्भक्तो वानपेक्षकः सलिङ्गानाश्रमान् त्यक्त्वा चरेद् अविधिगोचरः बुधो बालकवत् क्रीडेत् कुशलो जडवत् चरेत् वदेद् उन्मत्तवत् विद्वान् गोचर्यां नैगमश्चरेत् वेदवादरतो न स्यात् न पाषण्डी न हैतुकः शुष्कवादविवादेन कञ्चित् पक्षं समाश्रयेत् नोद्विजेत जनात् धीरः जनं चोद्वेजयेन्नतो अधिवादान् स्थितिक्षेत नावमन्येत कञ्चन देहमुद्दिश्य पशुवत् वैरं कुर्यान्न केनचित् एक एव परो ह्यात्मा भूतेष्वात्मन्यवस्थितः यथेन्दुरुदपात्रेषु भूतान्येकात्मकानि च अलब्ध्वा न विषीदेत काले काले शनं क्वचित् लब्ध्वा न हृष्येत् धृतिमान् उभयं दैवयन्त्रितम् आहारार्थं समीहेत युक्तं तत्प्राणधारणं तत्त्वं विमृश्यते तेन तद्विज्ञाय विमुच्यते यदृच्छयोपपन्नान्नम् अद्यात् श्रेष्ठमुतावरं तथा वासस्तथा शय्यां प्राप्तं प्राप्तं भजेन्मुनिः शौचमाचमनं स्नानं न तु चोदनयाचरेत् अन्यांश्च नियमान् ज्ञानी यथाहं लीलयेश्वरः न हि तस्य विकल्पाख्या या च मद्वीक्षया हता आदेहान्तात् क्वचित् ख्यातिः ततः सम्पद्यते मया दुःखोदर्केषु कामेषु जातनिर्वेद आत्मवान् अजिज्ञासितमद्धर्मः गुरुं मुनिम् उपाव्रजेत् तावत् परिचरेत् भक्तः श्रद्धावान् अनसूयकः यावद् ब्रह्म विजानीयात् मामेव गुरुमादृतः यस्त्वसंयतषड्वर्गः प्रचण्डेन्द्रियसारथिः ज्ञानवैराग्यरहितः त्रिदण्डमुपजीवते सुरान् आत्मानमात्मस्थं निहनुते मां च धर्मः अविपक्वकषायोऽस्मात् अमुष्मात् च विहीयते भिक्षोर्धर्मः शमो अहिंसा तप ईक्षावनौकसः गृहिणो भूतरक्षेज्य द्विजस्याचार्यसेवनं ब्रह्मचर्यं तपः शौचं सन्तोषो भूतसौहृदं गृहस्थस्याप्युयुतौ गन्तुः सर्वेषां मदुपासनम् इति मां यः स्वधर्मेण भजन्नित्यमनन्यभाक् सर्वभूतेषु मद्भावः मद्भक्तिं विन्दते दृढाम् भक्त्योद्धवानपायिन्या सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सर्वोत्पत्त्यप्ययं ब्रह्म कारणं मोपयाति सः इति स्वधर्मनिर्णिक्तः सत्त्वो निर्ज्ञातमद्गतिः ज्ञानविज्ञानसम्पन्नः न चिरात् समुपैति मां वर्णाश्रमवतां धर्मः एष आचारलक्षणः स एव मद्भक्तियुतः निःश्रेयसकरः परः एतत्ते भीतं साधो भवान् पृच्छति यच्च मां यथा स्वधर्मसंयुक्तः भक्तो मां समियात् परम् इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् 11 स्कन्धे 18 ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम श्री भागवत शरणं मम श्री सद्गुरु शरणं मम श्री सूत शरणं मम श्री शुकदेव शरणं मम श्री व्यास शरणं मम श्री नारद शरणं मम श्री कुमार शरणं मम श्री ब्रह्मा शरणं मम श्री विष्णु शरणं मम श्री परब्रह्म शरणं मम श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम शरणं मम शरणं मम श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ओम मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। ओम स्वर्गे सत्ये कैलासे वैकुंठे नास्ति यन्नसः अतप्यबन्धु सद्भाग्याः मामामुञ्चत कर्हिचित्। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् 11 स्कन्धः मुक्तिर्हित्वा अन्यथा रूपम स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः अथ 18 Let us salute the Lord, the entire Bhagavatacharyas and all the Rishi Munis who are blessing us in every life, and also our own Gotra Rishi to whom we belong, who is holding on to us and trying to push us towards the ultimate through some or the other means. Now in Bhagavat Mahapuranam, every skandha is so beautiful, divine, filled with great stories in which we see Bhagavan's avatara, leelas, and also Mahabhaktas, Jnanis, Yogis, Rishi Muni Pungavas, and their interaction, their tapasyas, their sadhanas. A full entertainment come learning for the entire life are these Puranas. First, we should have only two things. The faith and desire to know the truth as a sadhaka, and faith and shraddha in listening to the story. If these two ingredients are there, sufficient are these Puranas for us every day. When we listen, our minds, intellects get fully purified also, opened up also, blossomed also for divine grace and experience. Now, in the 17th chapter, we have exhaustively seen the four Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Varna ashramas, Varna dharmas, and in the ashramas, Brahmacharya, Grahastha ashrama, Dharma, Bhagavan explained. Towards the end, what was mainly stressed very delicately was, yes, you are a Grahastha, you involve in all the things required, but see to it that you are not missing the Dharma, at the same time, you are not excessively getting attached. It will not allow you to take care of your Vanaprastha and Sannyasa dharmas later on if beyond a rule you get identified or attached to. That demarcation you must know where you are not compromising with the dharma in which the most important ingredient is love to everyone. At the same time, you are not allowing yourself to be bound through any attachment or raga or asakti. So to the dvesha. So how to do that? Pantha Sangamaha. You remember one thing. It's like the yatris meeting en route when they are going to some destination in train or somewhere. Every relation is like that. And the only thing which is permanent with us can be Parama Atma. No other thing can be. Even Guru, even Ishta Devata. All of them will have to be dropped by us when we enter into Paramatma. Parabrahma. But with Guru and Ishtadeva, we will not have very difficulty in dropping them because they are not attachments, they are devotions. But here, when the attachments are there, the attachment attitude or adat or habit itself will bind every life. Like if I'm in this life, I'm attaching to the wife, children, or friends, neighbors. They are different from the earlier life, but the aspect of attachment which I am having here, I have carried over from the last life. And that is binding me. And attachment is always in the mind. When you are with them, conduct what's required. But when you are all alone, why can't withdraw from all that and do meditation? Why the mind is continuously worried, anxious, tensed up? How the worry, anxiousness, tension comes? Bhagavan Krishna demonstrated here. He gave a sample of it. What is that? Aho me pitarau vruddhau. Oh, my parents are old, as if your own parents are old. You also will become one day old. Even Lord Krishna's parents, Devaki Vasudeva, they also became old. Dasaraji and Kausalya, they also became old. So I'm giving an example where I'm comparing you with Krishna and Rama. Their parents also became old. Whose parents will not? Once oldness comes, all the vision will reduce, audition will reduce, digestive power will reduce, mobility will reduce. This is obvious. These are all signs of packing up. They are there for everyone. You can't avoid. It's not only to human. Every animal you can see, every bird you can see, every tree you can see. Anything jiva entering into deha will have the senility, old age of that deha. It is nothing but natural. We have to accept only. So about the parents, yeah. So instead of worrying at that age, what comforts you can give, you give. So this is the answer for this point. Ahome pitarau vruddhau. So bharya, bala, atmaja. Other case is what? The young wife and the children. Bala, atmaja means children are not yet settled, not yet married. You understand? So how to about they all will be taken care. The Lord who is taking care of me will take care of them also. In my presence, He took care of them through me. If at all I have to live somewhere, He will take care of them through some source. He has million sources for Him. Is it not? Therefore, that tension worry will have to be reduced. Especially as far as the monetary thing is concerned, like nowadays we are able to provide to the family, except some people. Then other aspects are about the career, about the job, about the marriage to children and all. They will also happen at one time. So what can be done, what is in the hands, do. Rest instead of worrying, leave it to the Lord through prayers. And all these small little things only, when we understand the higher philosophy of Jiva's evolution, Jiva's prarabdha. If prarabdha is not there, he will not get married only. Prarabdha hai, to he'll marry two also. Is it not? That thing we have to believe in. What happens in Indian system? Comparing with other families, oh, their son is only 24, he got married. My son is 34, still is not married. Yeah, your son is 10 years extra free. That fellow is born 10 years before. In what way you want to look at? You can look at it. No, 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 married, then the wife, children, they'll take care of old age. Are your children taking care of you? No. Still you are suffering only because the 34 years fellow. What is guarantee? These are all notions. 80% are mind's imagination's notion only. Only that two things. जो होना है होगा, जो करना है करना. There's no third thing. What is to happen, we can't avoid it, and what is to be done, we should not avoid it. This is how simple life is. Rest all is out of ignorance and delusion and confusion and non-information and attachments. Only the mind's vagaries they are. They give nothing but not only dukkha and pain, they'll never allow us to think higher, to do the prayers. Imagine a thing instead of worrying, doing your duty, remaining entire time. If you have invested in your upasana, your japa, puja, you do that sankalpa of your own children in that you will see that Lord's grace will make them settled. What a problem with us? Neither our fully duties we perform, nor invoke the grace of the Lord, nor understand it's about the power of the children. No, in all the cases, we are only creating suffering for us. ड्यूटी करो, प्रार्थना करो, इंतजार करो, भरोसा करो, जो आ रहा है स्वीकार करो. That's how empty the mind every moment. Mind should be engaged only in what is to be done worldly, what is to be done spiritually. Other than that, extra worry tension is not allowed. Grahastha mainly. Therefore, balatmaja atmaja, then anatha mamrute dinaha. So they'll be very dina, like that Kabutar wala story also, no? In Dattatraya's 24 Gurus, we have seen. Yeah, without me, they'll be anatha and dina. It's a good thought. Therefore, take care of them and invest some money, all that you do. But more than we can't worry. It's in the world you can see every type of thing. When the father, anybody died, children really got scattered. Some places it happened. In some places they did well and prospered also. So what is certain you can't decide. Not that because he died they prospered. I am saying it. The children have their own effort, they will grow. So there is Niyanta, Lord looking at every jiva. He is father of all, everyone is his children. Like you are father of your children, you are concerned. He is concerned about all jivas. He will keep on providing. What you can do to children is, if possible, invest some money or save it, but teach them to work hard, teach them to rely on the Lord. While working hard, all the value systems and all that, when they are trained in a pakka ho jayega wo. They will be managed, taken care. Just like we took care of ourselves when our parents died, we are going on, pulling on. And in this Kali Yuga of this generation and century, every next generation is more smarter than the earlier only. May not be more good, may not be more spiritual, but smart enough they are to manage. The electronic yuga has brought that IQ too much to them. EQ, SQ may not be there. IQ intelligent quotient, emotional quotient thumb ho gaya. Okay, SQ we all our gurus, Mahatmas are studying for inculcating that spiritual quotient. But IQ is there. They'll find their ways. And the children are dull-witted or disobedient. Even if you are alive, they won't be ठीक नहीं होंगे वो. कुछ कुछ ऐसे भी होते हैं. Everything is uncertain in this world. This is the only principle which is certain. Therefore, certainly whatever happens, let it happen. Certainly drop the worry. So, atha anatha mamrute dinaha katham jivanti dukkitaha. A common man will have this feeling, how will live their life after me going. So they will have. So time is such a powerful thing. In time, everybody gets matured. In time heals everyone. It brings newer contacts, relations, or works, or associations, which will reduce these pains. This is the Nirantara Pravaha Vishwa Jagat jo hai Kala. And in this way, as we said in morning class, in other topic, like this, how many times we might have been born earlier, how many times we have parents who took care of us, children whom we took care of them. हर जन्म में हो ही रहा है. Even Pashu Pakshi Yoni mein bhi it went on. Even now it goes. When we that way widen our vision beyond the womb and the tomb, every problem, whenever you get, go see beyond body, see beyond birth and death. The problem, first of all, becomes smaller. When it is smaller, solution is very easy, or sometimes you think acceptance is solution. Many times you just drop it only. You don't even worried. When you expand the vision beyond the birth and death. Before birth also like this, many times you are born, after this also it will continue. Like you are worried about children, wife, husband, this life, earlier life also you worried, next also you worried. They are, where are they? I don't know now. Who will be there in the future? I don't know now. No, I left the earlier one, then only I am able to hold on to these people. I'll definitely will leave them, then only I'll hold on to the new ones. That's how it's a pravaha. And it should convey to us one more thought. Okay? Therefore, living this way, that life of change every life is not the purpose. Purpose is to discover the changeless, eternal, immutable, infinite self. Because other than that, all things are coming and going and giving same routine type of experiences of responsibilities, experiences of success and failure through that sukha and dukkha. This is called samsara. Having desires, feeling responsibilities, continuously working, getting sukha dukkha, this entire drama is called samsara. But beyond this, that changeless Paramatma, he is discovered. He is identified with. In him being infinite, there is no finitude. Finite only tries to become infinite or larger. Infinite has nothing to do except expressing its glory of being infinite. These are the few things we have to understand. So there are all bigger philosophies, whether we digest or not. This much is allowed. Ki everything is not in your hands. It is only in the hands of destiny as well as the hands of Lord. Therefore, leave it to it also, which is beyond in our hands. Change this trait of not doing what is in our hands and worrying about that which is in our hands. Change it to the other thing. What is in your hands, you do. Not in your hands, you can't. Like I can talk on Bhagavata. This much is my hands. I can do this much. How many of you are listening? How sincerely and how much you are able to grasp it? It's not beyond. It's beyond my understanding, my limit. No. How can I be worried? It's only a worry. It's unnecessary worry. Only taking away my energy and time. Instead of worrying that if I can invest the time energy in a conveying this thought as beautifully as possible, as convincingly as possible, as authentically as possible, that would be helping more. In the same way, in every of the interactions, every of the relativity in the Grahastha ashram. Point is what? When the incident of something happens, after a year or two, everybody will become mature. But the real maturity is at the time of incidents only, with a minimum damage. If you can come out of it, you are wise. Because no problem remains for the longer, because new problems have to come. Unless the new problem will come and give a dhakka to the old problem. मैं आ गई हूँ करके. That anyway will happen. So after a year or two, all the wounds are gone and new wounds come. That's how 2 years back wounds, where are they now? 5 years back wounds, where are they now? Therefore, today's wounds also will not be there after 2 years, which is natural. But what is wisdom? What is our Purushartha? Why wait till 2 years? Right now only, if you can heal it through right matured understanding, you are wise. Philosophy Vedanta talks about result now of solving problem and getting happiness. It's not posthumous, it is not later on. What's the use of hospitals are there right now to treat? So Vedanta Shastra right now, not later on. Later on, there's no problem because in the continuous changing world, nothing remains. You don't even remember also what problem happened few years, 5 years back. If I ask you 8 years back, in what way you fought with your wife or husband or children, or what loss you incurred in business, याद भी नहीं रहेगा. But उस समय it was so serious. Like now, today also so serious about children or daughters-in-law or sons-in-law or grandchildren. This will not be there after 5 years. If we can sort it out right now also. Only two. What's in your hands, do it. Rest, you just pray and accept what happens. And one more beautiful faith is what? Anything happens is in the interest of that individual only, because it is sent by the Lord. Lord is not cruel. He cannot be. He cannot have any differentiation or partiality. When we worship the Lord, He will give us extra bonus. But even if we don't worship Paramanastika, still we are His children. He will give us what He has to give. कभी भी ऐसा नहीं सोचना भगवान के प्रति शंका कि वो शायद नहीं देंगे। वो तो जो देना है देते जाएंगे, मांगने से ज्यादा देंगे, उपासना करें ज्यादा देंगे, उनकी बात मानने से ज्यादा देंगे। नहीं किए तो नहीं देंगे, नहीं होता उनका। He cannot. That's so his problem. How much our cruel rakshasa or terrorist, he'll have to feed him also. If the Lord is that way, thinks only about one angle, all terrorists, all criminals, all murderers should die now at that moment, within a week's time, because Lord should not provide food to them. He will provide food to all living beings. What punya papa they do, accordingly He gives them rewards too. So keeping that aspect also in the mind, all in all, don't allow the mind to project about the future too much, and in the present should not be tensed much. What's in your hands, you do it, that's it. Every time the mind should be happy because the duties are fulfilled. Mind should be happy because the Lord is prayed for. Mind should be peaceful because you leave it to their freedom as well as prarabdha. And mind should be always empowered because I have a higher spiritual goal. That's how I should place my mind all the time. In the mood. Then there's no problem at all. You are pursuing your sadhana, you are going through the routine, you are fulfilling your responsibilities, the prarabdha is taking care of the remaining things. This is what matured life. All put together is maturity. One angle, no. I do my upasana, but I don't want to have wisdom. I will have knowledge, but not spiritual. Then I will do sadhana and all, but will not take care of my responsibilities. I will not worry about my body. Means taking care of the body, I will not do. ऐसा नहीं होता. As a human, we are given all capacities, should be used in all their capacities to achieve what is in our capacity. इस तरह से कहा. Now, evam, see, Bhagavan, see, he can't say, but it is a fact. Therefore, he says without that hesitation, evam gruha ashaya akshipta hridayaha. Gruhashaya akshipta hridayaha. The one whose heart is fully thrown hither and thither because of his attachment to the grahastha ashrama. Ashaya means attachment. Grahastha ashraya akshipta hridayaha. Gruhashaya akshipta hridayaha. तो गृहस्थ आश्रम में आशय में से वासनाओं के कारण जिसका हृदय आक्षिप्त है, मीन नॉट पीसफुल, नॉट स्टेशनरी, नॉट स्टेबल, नॉट निश्चल, कंटिन्यूअसली चंचल है, मूढ़धीहि अयम. He is called as the one whose intellect is deluded. Bhagavan is defining who is Mudha. Gruha Ashaya Akshipta Hridaya is equal to Mudha. It is for Grahastha. He is applicable to everyone. It is a one who is running a show of a business, who is a person responsible in an organization, a guru in an ashram. That also, it's a gurukula, it is an ashram, but that's main focus is to teach children. Here, there also guru, if worries like this, that is also called as Akshipta Hridaya Modadhi only. That is not Grahastha ashrama, definitely. But if you are attached to the ashram, it maintains its sustenance, its growth, and children should come regularly study. तुम आत्म जॉय करो न्याय पूर्वकता से with your shraddha in your hands. What's there? Do more worry also it can't be. He will also be mudadhihi again. More mudha he is having studied shastra. If still he is not believing in God or prarabdha, if still he is worried himself, he is more mudadhi. We have seen it in Gurudev. He was never worried about the ashrama or samsthas or center. He did his best. That's a very finer demarcation between working hard, doing best, yet not worrying. He conquered that. All great Mahatmas conquer it. That without attachment, they work as if they are attached. This is what in Gita Krishna said, Sakta karmani avidvamsa yatha kurvanti. Like the ignorant people, how they involve in the world with so much of attachment. In the equal intensity, the wise person also should involve, but only one thing difference is he is not attached. Saktaha karmani. Karmani saktaha vidvamsa yatha kurvanti. Bharata kuryat vidvan tatha asaktaha. So too the wise person should do without attachment. Why should he do then? Chikirshuhu loka sangraham. To bring the people into integration in their own personality, mutual integration, show all of them a path of evolution, external as well as internal. Because they consider you as wise, if you don't work, they stop working. That's how Yadyada Acharati Shrestha, that shloka revolves around that topic only. The wise people never work to guide the people. The wise people work to see that they are not misguided. If he doesn't work, they also stop working. So for that sake, he works. Difference is they do it with attachment. We should do it without attachment. This absence of attachment is called wisdom. Otherwise, performance of work is same to the wise as well as otherwise. The otherwise works for gaining something, wise works for the love, for service, to eradicate dukkha of others, to give that happiness to them. So, ayam mudadhihi evam gruha ashaya ashikta hridaya ayam mudadhihi, then atruptaha, and is never be at peace, never at contented, never at the trupti. Then what will he do? Tan anudhyayan. All the time he is doing the dhyanam, meditation, only on those things which are not in his hands or control. So what will happen one day? Mrutaha. One day will die, everybody will die. Where will he enter? Where will he go? Andham vishate tamaha. What is the andham vishate tamaha here? He'll again get those sort of lives in which he will continue the same sorts of attachments, bondages, self-inflicting things. He himself will enter into that vicious circle. He'll cocoon himself. He'll bind himself with his own attachments. That's called andama tamaha vishati. Be aware of this thought, my dear audience who are listening. Before we live within 5 years of death, we don't know exactly when we will die. Yet, in Andasa, see to it that, like Kunti Mata, get all the attachments dropped. Learn from the modern people how externally they act as if they love us so much, but internally zero attachment. Like you yourself, you see your heart to whom you are attached. Truly, purely, नहीं हो सकता किसी से. As you do sadhana, the pure attachment can be only with Bhagavan and Guru and Paramatma. All other attachments are not correct only. Then how can you have the attachment in them? You can have prema, you can have some love, little bit, not infinitely. In the same way, what we are now, it will be continued. Don't you want to evolve in next lives? Point what he is saying, Mudadihi, Andam Vishade Tamaha, as I said 10 minutes back, the people will change, things will change. But the process of again entangling ourselves, attaching ourselves, again will restart. As we suffered in this life, continuously in the mind, with so much of broodings, worries, anxiety, tension, हर जन्म में भी ऐसा होगा, अगले जन्म में ऐसा होगा. Then what is to be done? Never continuously live in Grahastha Ashrama, then take up Vanaprastha. That's what is said. Vanaprastha is undoing the Grahastha Ashrama's attachments, clutching them, all of them, as well as doing preparation for the sannyasa ashram. That's how we must enter into that zone. And miraculously or surprisingly or generally or commonly, what do you see is when you enter into Vanaprastha, your tapasya is yielding purity to you. In the meantime, the world, including your so-called children, family members, will settle in their own outer activities and inner attitudes and acceptances. Like they've accepted now that every day Mama or Father will go and sit in front of Swamiji for morning and evening classes. They are settled now in mind. except one or two occasions. Otherwise, generally they got adjusted. Now you drop all classes and hang on to them, again they get adjusted to that. Don't try that. You will miss your track path. Such thing won't come again and again in every life of getting chance to listen to Shastras in which we are bombarded with the truth and devotion every day. In the entire globe, there may be maximum 100, 200 places where such talks every day is happening. वो भी ज़्यादा ही होंगे. But we are doing it every day. Not weekly once, not monthly once. Every day we are touching Shastra. Every day we are touching the feet of the Lord and the Guru. Every day we are touching in our heart the truth, the reality. You can't leave it. I'm just giving you an example. I said, no, if you leave it and go, then that gets adjusted. So you may really think of it. No. I'll have to nip it at the bud level in your own interest. You can't be let loose to go back to be bound in the world. We'll do all the Guru Parampara at our own best. If you are like Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana and Ravana, in spite of all good words, you don't listen. We only leave it to your prarabdha. But you are not in that category. उतना दम नहीं है आप में. Okay. In this way, Grahastha Ashrama Dharmas are nutshell beautifully explained. Now comes the Vanaprastha. Iti Srimad Bhagavate Mahapurane Paramsam Samitayam Ekadasha Skandhe Saptadashodhyayaha Samaptaha Atha Ashtadashodhyayaha. Now comes the 18th chapter. So here up to maybe 10, 11, 12 or so shlokas or 13, we'll be talking to us about Vanaprastha Ashrama Dharma. Then from 14 till the end of the chapter, the Sannyasa Ashrama Dharmas are told. And in all the four, Sannyasa Ashrama Dharmas appear to be more sweet and nice. And do it bole to nahi karte hain. Everybody by nature is sannyasi, but by adapted nature, he gets caught up because of kama krodha. If they are not there, by nature, all are sannyas, because everybody is Lord's children. Everybody wants to go back to their own roots, their own original nature. But these adopted in between things are there, no? They're trouble. You will see all that feelings. Now let's start. Om Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha Srimad Bhagavata Mahapuranam Ekadasha Skandha Mukti Skandha Muktiritva Nidarobam Swarupena Vasdehe Adhashtadashodhyayaha Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Ashtadasha Adhyayaha Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. So every chapter we are seeing as it is titled as Mukti Skandha, Bhagavan is liberating us from the bondages of less information, ignorances, attachments, misconceptions, wrong notions, negative habits, negative values. From all of that we are being liberated. If we really follow the Lord's injunctions, by now we would have become so not only free in the heart from all bondages, we would have really gone a lot of distance toward the discovery of the self or the truth. If you had followed right from the beginning where the Navayogic Katha has come. Kavirhariantariksha Prabuddha Pippalaina Avirohotrota Druvidaha Chamasakaravajanah. So from all these last 100 days of classes in this 11th skandha, what we can learn is what? If you don't listen, even the information will not come to us. But mere listening, unless we are committed in our sadhana, will not bring the transformation also. And that commitment should be justified by giving the time, by actually doing what is to be done, and actually changing the attitudes which have to be changed. The attitude that I am no more, I am not the Deha or Jiva, I am the Atma Swarupa, that has to become stronger. If it's not happening means what? We have to be more serious, more sincere. We're already good, we're already serious, but more required. If you're not good and serious, you can never continue classes. Lagatar. Not only that, you are lucky also that much of Prarabdha is not bothering you right now. Else, many people, 100 times good than us also, better than us, don't want to come to class, their Prarabdha is not allowing them. That way also we are rightly placed, better placed. Keep that in mind and keep on. So add some doings to our understandings. whatever to be done. If you have understood japa, start doing. If you have understood of the Shastra to be studied thoroughly, start doing the study of Shastra. And making your own notes, making clear about every sloka, every mantra. See nowadays how beautifully we are chanting and learning Shanti mantras. Then we did Medha Suktam. Now we are doing Durga Suktam in Telugu. These are all done in English already. They're already there on the YouTube. Some have to be uploaded. Some help I am seeking for. How many beautiful things are given. So add that too. If you are convinced about Dhyanam, add Dhyanam to yourself. And what values in ABCD we are learning, if some of them are appealing to you, do practice them. Add doing to the knowing. It helps us. This we have learned now. Okay. Come to the 18th chapter. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Bhagavan says about the Vanaprastha dharmas. Now start. Vanam Vivikshuhu. The one who wants to enter into the Vanaprastha ashrama. Who needs what the wants are not, we don't know. The conflict is one. Needs are never felt like wants. Wants are never left as needs only. They are taken only as wants. But this need, it is for us to enter into anaprastha. That need should feel like want. I need to purify myself. For that, I need to go to anaprastha. Therefore, I want to go for it. Therefore, I shall go for it. That's called as vivikshuhu. Vivikshu means the one who want to enter. Vanam vivikshuhu. The one who wants to enter into vanaprastha ashrama. When you enter, all rules, regulations change. Like from brahmacharya grahastha you attend, rules change. You are no more selfish, individualistic now. Your attention for the wife or the children as well. Now you have to keep everybody of the family members in mind and bring for them. Earlier you used to go to movie all alone. Now you have to take all of them. Is there the rules change when you came to grahastha. So too when you enter into vanaprastha, the rules change. We have to adapt them. Vanam vivikshuho, the one who wants to enter into vanaprastha. First thing what he should do, putreshu bharyam nyasya. Hand over the responsibility of the wife to the children. It's all in goodwill, discussed. Tell her, if you done good, will you do well? I want to do my higher personal sadhana, so please take care, children. Okay? In between, once in a while, you can come, talk and all, but not again chipko. You are in your sadhana. No, children are not ready to take her. Or she says, no, I also want to go with you. And here it is said, Saha evava, take her also with you, no problem. But follow all the Vanaprastha dharmas. Saha evava, because if she is also that way detached and want to pursue her sadhana, mutually one can inspire other. You understand, in the good old days, after Grahastha Ashrama, this is how both wife and husband together go for Vanaprastha and do. Even now, there are many thousands and thousands of couples enter to the ashrama, they are doing their Vanaprastha sadhanas. Both log hai. Genuinely, seriously, they are doing. There all would be sadhakas, jignasus, perhaps yogis also. So, vanam vivikshuho putreshu bharyamnyasya or sahaeva, taking her along with all the mental preparations, what will go, what will happen and all. In the vana, it will all be frightening, threatening, dangerous. Therefore, women, she may not be able to withstand. That's how she is left to the children. At home, she will do same type of vanaprastha sadhana she can do. And it's all in the wisdom of both of them. If they are confident that mutually they don't obstruct or trouble, rather become complementary, in whatever the sense required, you can take. If she knows her going is burden to him, she should withdraw from going, allow him to do his sadhana. That's her maturity. Great. If he is confident of her, come, you also do tapasya. If she says, yeah, मैं भी करती हूँ, चलो. Both options are left. Putreshu bharyamnyasya saha eva. Then vana eva vaset. He should really stay in the vana. It is very spashta rupa said. When it is said vanavasa, it is to be vanavasa only, not concrete vana. Really, we have to go to the vana, jungle. Make an ashram, kutia there, near a river, etc. Nowadays, so many are already there. Hundreds of them, very beautiful, wonderful organizations. People have made so many ashramas to stay peacefully as vanaprasthi. And the funny part in India is what? Those ashramas, not even ashramas, they are only luxurious places where 30,000, 40,000 per month have to be given. There people flock in line run. But small ashram where spiritual activities are there, you have to give some donation 6,000 for the maintenance. वहाँ जाने को लोग तैयार नहीं. Why is it so? Because in the first one, on the name of Vanaprastha, all luxuries are available. You have your own TV, you have your own servants, you have your own कपड़े धोने वाले, मसाज करने वाले, सब कुछ है. So नाम के आस्ते हो. So they are not detached, they are still. The other one, it is you have to do your sadhanas there, you have to attend satsang. इसलिए लोग इच्छा नहीं दिखाते. Therefore, those who don't go there, they are not true, genuine Vanaprasthis. They are only feeling more free to continue their own bhoga. That's what I said. Whichever the ashram you go in Vanaprastha, satsanga must be there, sadhana must be there, and bhoga samagri must not be there. Then only you can do sadhana. Best is vanam. Vana eva vaset. Vane eva vaset. Must go to vana. At least in India, there are 20, 30 ashramas are there. There are many ashramas where the rooms are not there. You pay money, you have luxurious money, no? Pay and you make your own kutia and stay there. It will be good for them and write the ashrama on their name. When you leave some other ashrama, prasthi, want to stay there, they stay. They are there in modern times. You must do. Find a best place which is convenient for the Vatavaranam and all for the sake of your Deha, because you can't torture also Deha too much in Kali Yuga. You should not pamper also it one. You have to balance. That's a different art. Some other time we'll discuss it. So one can find like that. Vane eva vasetu. This is idealistic way where they just like Ram, Lakshmana, Sita went to Vanvasa with all the uncertainty. They went. Then because it's a huge year of time of 14 years, they had to stay in one place. Therefore, they stayed in Panchavati and all those places. They kept on moving. They were not there at one place only all the time. Wherever they became more familiar, frequenting of people was increasing. They used to leave that place and go further. So, vane eva visheto. Okay, vane eva vaset. Third one is shantaha. Find peace within. But the Ashanti there when you go, Ashanti about inconveniences and Ashanti about what is happening at home, etc. Maybe an Ashanti, mera kya hoga? No, first thing is what? Quiet in the mind. You have taken a good decision. Now your tapasya is starting up, undoing all the attachments and purifying the mind. Then slowly, when you are already educated or join a Gurukula to learn the knowledge, that knowledge will remove all the fears, obstacles, the knowledge of the truth, etc. So Shantaha. Then Trutiyam Bhagam Ayushaha. The third part of your own lifespan should be spent in a peaceful manner in the Vanaprastha having gone to the Vana. First shloka. Ayushaha Trutiyam Bhagam, the third portion of the life. If 100 is our age, from 50 to 75. If it's only 80 years your age, 80, then you make one third of it. Okay, it's from 55 to 65, 70 like that. Thereafter, it will be Vanaprastha. 50 to 70, that age. Just to see where all responsibilities are over, don't take the newer ones. When your grandchildren of the age of 18, 20, you are free. Bas. इस तरह से. Okay, then having gone there, should I take all my namkin shamkin to eat? Should I tell my children to send it every month? पूरा एक महीने का खाना जो मिलता है, जो चाहिए है, सारे मिठाइयाँ यहाँ. Then there's no meaning in Vanaprastha. Therefore, he starts with that. Kandamoola falaihi vanyaihi medhyaihi vrittim prakalpaye. Vritti means livelihood. The livelihood के लिए what should be consumed? Kandamoola falaihi vanyaihi. Those which are available in the vana, the kandamoola phala. Or whichever the place you make a ashram kutia, you make the kandamoola phala grown there so that you can sustain. Medhyai. Medhyam is pure vegetarian. Amedhyam is non-veg. Medhya amedhya means that which is offerable to the Lord, non-offerable to the Lord. Amedhyam is non-offerable. So non-veg you can't offer to the Lord. It is himsa. In all the yajnayaga, Pashu is not killed. Pashu only offered to the Lord. Not killed it is. It is just left only. So Medhya Kandamula Falaihi is very good in fact. So yesterday, today, whoever have joined in the medical groups which I have sent, some quickly responded. Others, as usual, they take me for granted. They missed all that. In 1 minute, they should have responded and joined, and wonderful articles started coming to guide those who want. So there, one of the important things would be about the diet. Every cure only by the medicine called as food. All medicines will go away from your life, he says. 2 months training is going to give. Somebody Mahatma, Lord through him serving the world. Whenever the abnormalities come, Lord will come in some form to again make the things normal. That's a big thing. Here, so Kandamula Falaihi, Medhyaihi, Vrittim Prakalpayeto. That's it. Okay, vegetarian, all the Kandamula Phala. Roots Mula, Phala fruits, Kanda, all the Kandaye. Okay, Vasita Valkalam. What about the dress? Valkalam. The Valkala is the bark of the tree properly taken out and worn around. There are some trees whose barks can be long lasting as well as protective. Vaset Valkalam, Vasaha, Truna, Parana, Ajinanicha. Truna, grass made, Parana, the leaves made, Ajina, maximum the deer skin. So Truna, Parana, Ajina, Valkala. These are the Vasa in Vanavasa. This is how Rama Lakshmana Jata Valkala Dharani. They have Jata and Valkala Dharana. Nara Chira कहते हैं उसको. Chira means cloth. Nara means brought out of one of the barks of the trees or the threads of the trees with that it is made. Not comforting cotton clothes, silken clothes, warm woolen clothes. No, 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 no. So Bhojanam is told and dress is told there. Vasita Valkalam Vasa Truna Parana Ajinani Chak. So in today's world, that much you can't do. Therefore, see to it that it is as simple as possible. Easy to wash, easy gets dried up. Don't go for highly maintenance requiring things. That's so. आज तो 10 साल में सारे लोग ये सीखेंगे. You will not have servants even in India. They will be more charging than your salary. Everybody will come back like in Japan and all. No servant culture. सब खत्म. अब अपना काम खुद कर लो. Naturally, अब दिमाग सीधे ठिकाने पे आया. They have all the houses, utensils, clothes, such ones which they can maintain, manage. Sophisticated है तो you need somebody to maintain. You can't pay. Keep that in mind. So Jata Valkala Ityadi means that type of simple nowadays. Idealistically, what is said in Bhagavata, we only vote for it, but it is not possible nowadays. Even the tribal, the other day I was watching tribals. All tribals are suited, booted, and nice dress. They're all wearing pajama, सब पहन कर jogging कर रहे हो सब. काल समय बदल गया ना. So what is meant by here is what? Not going for any comfort, luxuries, etc. Okay, then about makeup. Dress is spoken about, food is spoken about, for the Vanaprasthi, makeup, etc. Kesha Roma Nakash Mashru Malani Bibriyatu. Let the hair or beard, etc., let it grow. Don't worry too much about it. Then Dataha na dhavetu. Don't worry too much about also the Danta Dhavanam, etc. Danta Dhavana includes everybody, take bodies, all cosmetics or too much of maintenance, etc. should not be done. Then Apsumajjeta Trikalam. Apsumajjeta Trikalam. Vanaprasthi in the flowing water, thrice a day you should take bath and do that Anushtana. Because taking bath in water anytime will remove that tamo guna of Dehatada Atmya, makes our mind at least for some time available for sadhana. You can see it anytime. Anytime you can feel sleepy, lazy, have a tanda pani bath, you can see that that is gone. It's all notions. "Oh, if I don't sleep, what will happen?" We never think if I don't meditate, what will happen? If I don't do sadhana, nahi khaye to kya hoga? Nahi soya to kya hoga? They are called samsara lakshanas. They should be replaced. साधना को जाने दो, सो तो जरूर लूंगा मैं. From that, सोना कम होने दो, साधना जरूर करूंगा. That's called maturity. So, 3 times bath. Naka Kesha Roma should not be disturbed or touched or worried about. The Dantadhavanam, most important is Standileshayaha. Standila means earth. Standilesha means lying, sleeping on the earth only. Maximum a chattai to avoid all the things, etc. But on the bhumi only, no palang valang. Vanaprastha में के लिए एक आश्रम बनाया. There are some people again. They make their own kutia in the ashram only with the permission, but they make it so luxurious. They'll have AC, BC, DUC, सब कुछ ला देते. See, if it's too hot summer, you are not allowed to die with that heat. You have it, but you should also have discretion. See, how many days in the summer to protect your skin you have to play AC, and that also per day how many hours. You should not go for comforts. That's the idea. Deha tadatma ko chodna. All instructions given to achieve a particular thing, that we have to mind. The two things are not developing attachment to dehadi and wasting the time, then conserving the time for adhyatmic sadhana. सारे instruction do's and don'ts का ही purpose होता है. Because they won't end. The body, the identity, the comforts for the deha will never end. Even million dehas we get. We only have to, by reducing its demands, slowly get out of its attachment. When more detachment happens, when we attach to the sadhana, start involving in sadhana, you are not able to worry about it. Like morning 6, I want to do my japa dhyana. Obviously, if your rule is that to do, you will get up only in the morning. So that getting up morning is detachment from deha. Sleep, bhojana, all of them are identification with deha. They strengthen that. Clear? इतना हो गया. फिर न धावेत then अपसुमज्जेत त्रिकालम, then standileshaya. Learn to sleep on the जमीन. Is it not? थोड़ा थोड़ा सा होगा, but धीरे धीरे आदत होएगा वो. We have to learn to be independent. साधना है ये. Then all the medical unless the problem is so much, you have this spondylosis, you have spondylosis, or you have got the discs slipped. Very terrible problem है तो ठीक है. Otherwise, slowly we should learn. First learn in the daytime, whatever half an hour you take a nap, to be on the ground. Second, even night also, 1 hour on the jamin, then go on to the palang, then 2 घंटा. इस तरह धीरे धीरे by all the upaya which you can think of, with all of them, we have to conquer these things one by one. Whether it is food, eating kandamula, suddenly it will not happen. Before you proceed finally for the vanaprastha, in the grahastha only you should increase the consumption of kandamula more than the rice chapati. It gives an idea. Train yourself, be conscious. Enjoy life that way, practicing what is known, and the knowledge is only to evolve us. All these knowledges are only to evolve us. So, Standileshayaha we have seen. Then dekho. See, what ultimate are told by Krishna. If you stick to that, you are obliging him, you are blessed by it. If it's not possible, 10%, 20%, relaxation, rebate, concession will be given. But not 100%. Like in morning Mandukya, even Advaita Vedantins talk about the jati or janma only for evolving to the jata, not to say that jati is real. So too, little concessions are given, not to permit licentiousness or worldliness, but only because we are not able to. We are never trained, that's how. But what was said, even in here also, when Brahmana cannot do his Brahmana's work for his own livelihood, he can go for Vaishya Kshatriya. He did not Apad Dharma कहते हैं उसको. Kshatriya also told he can go for Vaishya and Brahmana Vritti, Nashva Vrittya Kathanchana, Nashva Vrittya Kathanchana. So some relaxations always are there, but that's because of some inconvenience or emergency. It's not been regular. So the ultimate only Bhagavan Krishna says. From that you try it, if not, a 10% less, 20% less, even 30. Start from 10% doing only. Slowly go to 90-80%. So next one he says about Grishme Tapyeda Panchagnin. In the Grishma Ruthu, he should do the tapasya called as Panchagni tapasya. The Panchagni is four directions. The fire is kept. आगे पीछे खब्बे सज्जे ऊपर लॉर्ड सन आफ्टरनून देर सिटिंग देर फॉर आवर्स टुगेदर डूइंग वॉट एवर जप इज डन दैट उष्ण का ताप से जो हम बचने के लिए कंफर्ट जोन में जाते हैं उससे बच रहे हम कठोर तपस्या then only the identity with the deha goes away, not otherwise. With the slightest of inconvenience at the body level, we just change all the equipments and we talk about Vedanta. Naham Devasmi, Naham Jivosmi, Aham Brahmasmi. ये हमारे तो बस मजाक हो गया एक्चुअली साधना तो for you and me. You are only comfortable spirituality seekers. फैक्ट है, रियलाइज करना. ठीक है, हो गया. ग्रीष्मे तप्येत पंचाग्नि. पंचाग्नि तपस्या इन द ग्रीष्म ऋतु. व्हाट अबाउट वर्षा ऋतु? वर्षासु आषाढ़ षाट जले. In the Varsha Rutu, in the pouring, downpouring rains, under that water only, withstand to it and do your whatever japa you do. वानप्रस्थी. तभी जाकर बढ़ेगा देह तादाद से छुटकारा होकर स्टैमिना बढ़ेगा. एंड यू एंड आई कितने साल साल हो गए होंगे बारिश में भीग कर. बच्चे खेलते हैं बारिश में करके. You know, I तो every year in rainy season, first rains I'll stand in the rain water. चाहे कहीं भी हो, आधा घंटा खूब नहा तो मैं enjoy it. जुकाम आने दो. अरे छोटे छोटे प्रॉब्लम होते हैं करके. If you miss all those things, वर्षासु आसार जल. आसार शाट जले. आसार शाट means pouring cats and dogs, buffaloes and bulls. ये हो गया वर्षा ऋतु. ग्रीष्म. बड़ा सर्दियों में आकंठमग्न शिशिरे. In the winter, up to the neck level, you just be in the waters of the river and do your own anushtana and japa. Not the whole day. That means that 1 hour, half an hour, whatever. So that ग्रीष्म, वर्षा and शिशिर ऋतु का हमें कमांड होना चाहिए. They should not bother us. Then evam vruttah tapah charet. In this way, the tapasya of detaching from the deha's comforts, one should do it. Here both things are happening. Detachment from deha tadatmya and mind focused on some sadhana japa or manana chintana. If this is not done, then for small little changes in atmosphere, some small little demand of the senses or small little temptation, we go for again bhoga nidra, bhoga nidra. In Vanaprastha Ashrama, it is tapasya kalam. It is not bhoga and nidra. In fact, for human being, there is no bhoga nidra kala. In brahmacharya, you should learn, study, continually serve the guru. In the grahastha ashrama, take care of family and the entire world is on your own shoulders. In Vanaprastha, terrible tapasya you have to do. And sannyasi will have to give up everything and meditate. There is no bhoga. There is no nidra. For manava, human being, if he wants to evolve, whatever is necessity, it is continued. It is not bhoga, it is not nidra. I need food to survive. That much you take. That's not bhoga. I need to sleep 3-4 hours to recoup. Like I have to talk 6 hours per day. So some rest is needed. If I don't take, I can't talk. So that taking rest is only a part of sadhana or study or class. Like that. हो गया. एवं वृत्तः तपः चरेतु. In this way, one should discover variety of tapasyas which are mentioned here by Krishna and also elsewhere. Collect all of them. Do that where the attachments are risen above from. Yeah. Next he says Agnipakvam samashniyat. Food would be Agnipakva. It can be cooked under the above the fire. Allowed for Vanaprasthi. Sanyasi ke liye no cooking. He only begging. अग्निपक्वम समश्नीयात. काफी खा सकते हो. Then कालपक्वम अथापि वा. Better is one that which is ripened in time like all the fruits. Agni pakwa means sabji, chawal, thoda sa. Kala pakwa means the fruits. Then ulukala ashma kuttova. You can ulukala ashma kutta. Ulukala means pattar se bana. Ashma means iron se bana. कुट्टहा मीन्स वो जो है ना पीसिंग पाउंडिंग करके दैट कैन बी ईटन ऑल द पाउडर मेड आजकल तो सब थिंग पाउडर रूप में मिलता है चावल का पाउडर है गेहूं का पाउडर है आटा बोलते हो सो दैट इज थर्ड वे ऑफ ईटिंग पका के खाओ गर्मी में या खुद नेचुरली पका के खाओ नेचुरली पकाना फलों का होता है सब्जी वब्जी का एक खाना पकाना होता है दैट वे द टू थिंग्स थर्ड वन इज व्हाट उलूकल अश्म कुट्टोवा and the best is what dantolukala evava make your danta only ulukala and apne danto se chaba kar if they are healthy yeah. You know the few only disciplinedly lived people will have their teeth for a long age. The uncontrolled diet all useless eaten by the age of 15 20 only you'll have the root canals you have the replaced dant. The most flourishing business is dental and more flourishing is mental. Dental, all foreigners come to India to get their dental treatment was very cheap in India. वहां तो दांत निकाल के रख ले लाखों में लेते हैं इंडिया में कम नहीं होता लेकिन गुड इट इज रीजनेबल. आई हर्ड समबडी 2 लाख रुपया 6 महीने का ट्रीटमेंट दांत तोड़ के पूरा नया लगाने के लिए. मैं इसे मैं 1 लाख में करता हूँ कि एक मार दिया दांत निकल के आबो आ जाके लगा दे. Flourishing. What the strong teeth. The other day someone shared video that 120 years old women वो गन्ने को मुंह से निकाल के चबा कर रस पी रही हो. She is telling all she has seen. महात्मा गांधी को देखे सब देखे. दंत को ही उलूखल बना दो चबा कर. वाह. नहीं तो पीस कर नहीं तो पका हुआ फल सीधा साधा. Orange is so difficult means what? See, this is the difference in our Hinduism's Shastras. They indicate sadhana, they strongly tell about them, yet they don't insist. Because they are not that way fanaticism. The idea is one, you should do sadhana for that whatever is facilitates. Same time, facility should not become comforts that you miss the sadhana. नहीं अब किसी दांत ही नहीं है वानप्रस्थ में उसको अगर कंफेल किया मानो कि दंत को ही उलूकल बना के वो चबाएगा नहीं वो मरेगा. एवरी शुड बी गिवन चांस. पाउडर इट एंड मेक इट वाटर में मिलाओ पी लो. इज इट नॉट? दैट्स द ब्यूटी इन आवर शास्त्र. फॉर एवरीवन डिपेंडिंग ऑन देयर ओन एबिलिटी और देयर ओन एवोल्यूशन स्टेज sadhanas are given. We don't insist, we only guide, we only inspire, we only show. Like in Gita also. Bhakti ka highest mayya manadasva. Lastly said karma phala त्याग करो वही शुरुआत है भक्ति का. Everywhere we see the alternative. That's a kindness, that's a compassion. ज्ञान योग नहीं हो गया भक्ति योग करो. वो भी नहीं होता अष्टांग योग करो. वो भी कर्म योग करो. कम से कम अपना धर्म का निर्वहन करो. There you start your evolution. Straight away you don't say वो करो नहीं तो मरोगे. करो या मरो नहीं होता हमारा. करते करते वाल हो जाओ. सो हो गया. नेक्स्ट वन स्वयं संचिनियात सर्वम आत्मनः वृत्ति कारणम. इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट इन वानप्रस्थाश्रम. whatever is required for your maintenance you only must to do it. This is more important rule than any other. Then only you will know so far for so many comforts how many people you have troubled or tortured or depend upon. And then only we will learn to live in minimum. When you have servants to cook food, you ask for 6 items to make. When you yourself make, then you will know how difficult it is. Then you learn to be satisfied with 1 or 2 items. Is it not? In Corona, everybody learned this. Because they can't go out, servants cannot come. Therefore, they used clothes also, not lavishly. Food, etc. also, they minimized it. It helped in many unseen ways. It's not calculated. How much Corona troubled people, killed the people, that is being calculated. But because of Corona, how many millions of gallons of petrol is saved because people have not gone out. The sound pollution is saved. That is not thought of. How all the junk food aspect has got reduced, how much people physically worked at home, how much they tolerated other person's presence in the house. अब इनका हिसाब लगाओ तो कोरोना से 90% फायदा हुआ, ज्यादा से 10% ही नुकसान हुआ. It's my way of calculation. Why we talk the topic here? He says, whatever is your need, you depend on you. Don't ask anyone. Even पति पत्नी अपना अपना काम कर लेना. Wash your clothes, wash your utensils, clean your own place, cook your own food. एटलीस्ट दोनों मिलकर सब्जी काटे तो बना दो. इस तरह से व्हाट इज सेड, स्वयं संचिनुयात् सर्वम आत्मनः वृत्ति कारणम. देन देश काल बल अभिज्ञः, डिपेंडिंग ऑन देश काल बल. देन न आददीत अन्यत् आहृतम. डोंट डिपेंड ऑन अगेन द ब्रिंगिंग्स फ्रॉम अदर्स. दूसरों से मंगाने वाले पे आप डिपेंड मत होना. As I told you about the medical group, the doctor's insistence is this only. No processed food. At home only, getting the raw material, you only try to make things for you. So there is a joy of doing, exercise of doing, then you have assured yourself of the perfect thing required for the day. He says food itself medicine, no medicine needed. उसी से सब रोग चले जाते हैं. And it's a fact. It's all the ancient technique of all Ayurveda and all. So this much are the Vanaprastha dharma. Further are there Vanyahi. Even being there also, you are supposed to do your regular yajna, upasana, which you are doing in a grahasthashrama also. Same ये सब चलेंगे, but with the things that are available to you. As one enters into sannyasa ashrama from here, then these karma kanda yajna also gets dropped. Only swadhyaya, dhyana, japa ityadi reh jayenge. See how beautiful and systematic. And each of them have only two purposes of detaching our antakarna, thus purifying, then attaching it to the Lord, thus merging. For these two purposes. Because all said and done, by now we must be at least to some extent convinced that knowing the self and truth alone is liberation. Not being identified Dehadi as a Jiva. We have already seen this. And every Rishi Muni went through the life of Jiva Dehadi Bhava. Now they have gone beyond, they discovered self. Comparatively, they tell us this is Bandhanam, this is Mukti. So on the strength of our faith on them, on the strength of faith in Shastra, we have to understand, get convinced that spiritual evolution alone is the ultimate goal, and that's our responsibility. We have to work towards that. For that only, these are Varna Ashrama Vyavastha ultimately made. How much ever the rules, regulations we talk about, but all of them rules and regulations are neither for rules and regulations, not bind us there. All of them has to evolve us. Evolution is only in spirituality. कभी ये लिंक मिस नहीं करना. It may be 100 lives away for me from now. Doesn't matter, but link we should have. Everything I do is for that final goal. And all are geared up towards that. Every Shastra in Hinduism, they all have Ekavakyata. Sakala Shastra se Ekavakyata kimasti Atmajnanena Muktim Prapniyat. By knowing the self, get liberated from not self. Come what may. Avantara, in between, we will talk about various yogas, various rules, various values, various regulations. So many batayenge without missing that goal. Like we drive the car. You take left turn, you can right turn, you will speed up, you will reduce the speed, you will pause for a tea, coffee, but all keeping in mind the goal where you have to reach. ये सब चलेगा, but goal भूलते नहीं हम. In the same way, in the life's journey, the goal should never be forgotten. Keeping that in mind, all these are told to us. Some more shlokas of Vanaprastha, then we enter into sannyasa, descriptions, the explanations. Very enchanting it is. Nothing wrong in knowing how much we practice in your hands. But lucky we are, at least our intellects are becoming aware about the great teachings of our ancient Shastras directly from the mouth of Lord Krishna himself. This particular portion में अब देखो उत्तमोत्तम शिष्य, it is taught to Uddhava and such people. Directly Krishna himself is teaching. He is an avatara, he is an Ishvara, he is a Parabrahma, he is a Jagadguru. Then it is given by Shukadeva through Parikshita, and it is written by VYASA. So VYASA Anugraha, Shukadeva Anugraha, Krishna Paramatma Anugraha, all of them are there in this portion, specially. In entire Bhagavata it is there, but here Lord Krishna himself is teaching that added charm is there. So how real it must be, how useful it must be. Then we have to be feeling that I must convince about it, I must live like that. ऐसा भाव को हमको बढ़ाते रहना. Just keep doing the sankalpa and prayer. As per Shastra, let me live my life. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavasthitau. Shastrokta Arthakama, Shastrokta Dharma, Shastrokta Moksha. Beautiful life. Thank you. That's what we have to do as human beings, as Indians, as Hindus. I can't say about others. I can't compel, no, if others don't accept it. But for us, it is so. Hari Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishate Om. Sri Guru Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Sadgunath Maharaj ki jai. Chalo Valmiki Ramayana. कुंभकर्ण भयंकर युद्ध करेगा, सुग्रीवादि को सबको मारेगा, पीटेगा.